This Chat with the Experts is brought to you by Angie's List on 93 WIBC.
Welcome back to Chat with the Experts, brought to you by Angie's List. Today's show is sponsored by AZEK and TimberTech, manufacturers of premium deck and rail products, which are perfect for helping you create the ultimate outdoor space. And we're here today with Tom Booker of the Deck Store here in Indianapolis, and we're talking about how to create a gorgeous deck for your home. And we were just discussing the design process and some of those first steps as you start thinking about what a deck might look like in your home and what you want out of your deck. But now we want to talk about the actual materials that you can choose from as you begin to build your deck and how you can make the right choices there. So, Tom, what are some of the materials that you're seeing most commonly used for decks at this point, and how do they differ from one to the other?
Now it has become very common for to use the composite materials, and the term composite is sort of a catch-all. Really, it means anything that's man-made, and there are several different types of composites. But that accounts for us anyway, that accounts for over 80% of the decks that we do or sell.
Wow. So what makes composites such a good choice? You mentioned that the popularity is rising.
Well, for the performance of the materials has gotten really good over the years. These products are, 15 years old, maybe 20 years old. But in the last 5, 6, 7 years, they've really become very high performance and really attractive. And people are really attracted to the no maintenance. There's really very little that you have to do to these products.
Yeah. Do you feel like the education about the composite materials has increased? Like people come in kind of already understanding what they're getting from a composite product?
Yes. Yeah, that's exactly it. And almost everyone feels like they're so busy they just don't want to have to maintain their wood deck anymore.
Yeah.
So they get tired of it every spring, and so they finally give up and come in and look at the composite materials. Yeah.
Do you still have a group of people that are building a deck from scratch using the wood materials?
We do. We still sell some wood, both traditional wood, pressure-treated pine and cedar, and then some of the exotic hardwoods, ipe and tiger wood and different things like that.
Yeah.
But it's a smaller portion of our business.
So obviously with composite, I guess the sky is the limit when it comes to the choices you have. What kinds of color and style options are out there when it comes to your composite decking materials?
So first of all, there are really 3 different kinds of materials within that composite umbrella. There's what I would call the first generation material, which is 50% plastic, 50% wood. Those were kind of the first generation materials, and they're better than wood, but they still are going to fade, they're going to stain, and in many cases they're going to mold. So those are not the kind of products that we sell in our store. The other products are a PVC material and then what's called a capstock or a coated composite, and those are really the high performance materials.
Yeah, and within each of those, the color and style options are going to vary.
We have over 80 colors of composite materials in our store, and you can get a wide variety of colors in both the PVC and the coated composite material.
Yeah, and so even if you decide to go to the composite route, there's still obviously decisions to make, as you just mentioned. How can you ensure the product you choose is going to be the right fit for your home, both aesthetically and otherwise?
Well, the first thing we do when people come into our store is we talk about the performance of the different products. So, and once people understand that, then they know where they need to be performance-wise. So then it comes down to color and texture and slip resistance and other features like that.
So when you mention a difference in performance, talk a little bit about what you mean by that. How do they vary performance-wise?
So I mentioned the first generation materials. Those will fade, those will stain, those will mold. The PVC materials, now the PVC materials, particularly the AZEK brand, have just started offering a 30-year fade warranty and a 30-year stain warranty. So they're very high performance materials now. The PVC material does expand and contract a little bit more than the coated composite material. So on really, really large decks, that can be something that we need to take into account. But they are very good products. And then the coated composite materials are a little bit stronger than the PVC materials, and they also have that 25-year fade and stain warranty typically. So they are a very high-performance material too.
So is there anything that you can do to ensure the durability and a long lifespan for your decking material? I mean, is there any maintenance at all that you should consider?
For the most part, these two products that I'm talking about, these two types of materials, really don't have to have anything done to them.
Wow.
If they look dirty to you, you can clean them, but you can clean them with mild cleaners, you can clean them with a pressure washer, or you can just leave them be.
Yeah. That's excellent. So let's talk a little bit about features. And when we discussed earlier how the deck industry has changed and some of the different options that are out there, this is definitely a big part of that, because now you're talking about different levels on the deck, or lighting, railings. What are some of the features out there that people are starting to consider now?
So multi-level decks are really popular. It sort of helps segment the space, and it creates more interest in the deck, and it also sometimes gets you closer down to your yard, so that you can feel like you're a little bit part of the yard, or maybe a pool if you have one.
Yeah.
So that's really popular. Benches, built-in planters, lots of railing choices with cable rail and aluminum balusters and different things like that, so that you can keep your view open. So lots of choices. Yeah,
are people surprised to come in and see what more they could do than maybe they were expecting, if they were just coming in thinking of like, I just need a deck, or I want to add a deck to my home? Yeah, I've actually had people comment that it was, it's a little bit like buying a car. There's so many choices, but we kind of help direct and make it a simple process, but there are a lot of choices. Yeah, absolutely. Well, how long does the actual deck installation process take? Once we've made all the choices and it's time to put the hammer to the nail, how long can we expect it to take before it's complete? So the first thing that I need to mention is that there's always a backlog of work, right? So we're just because we decide today that this is the deck we're going to build, typically for us it's going to be 4, 5, 6, sometimes as long as 8 or 9 weeks before we can start. Sure. Then once we start the process, a typical deck takes 1 to 2 weeks, but sometimes they can take less or more depending on the size and scope. Yeah, and as you and I were discussing during the break, I'd imagine this is the time of year where a lot of people really get excited about adding a deck to their home. And of course, if they're excited, a lot of other people are as well, and you get an influx of people this time of year that are thinking that way. Is that right? That's it, yep. And so that lead time starts going out, starts pushing out right now this time of year. So the earlier you can think about it and what you might want, the better off you're likely going to be. Are there DIY opportunities when it comes to deck installation, or do you always prefer and advise that a professional should be the one installing? So we actually have 3 different options with our store. We can actually help you design the deck, and then we can sell you the materials if you want to completely do it yourself, or if you have your own contractor, or if your brother-in-law wants to come in and build it for you. We'll sell you the materials, we'll deliver them right to your door and do it that way. We also have full installation, obviously. And then we have what we call a We Frame You Finish, or a partial installation. So that's where we come in and we do all the structural part of it, and then you can put the flooring down, put the railing on, and do the finishing touches. Yeah, that's excellent. It's excellent to hear there's a lot of different options there, and you can kind of choose based on what's going to meet your needs and your expertise in the area the best. Right. What options do you have if you have maybe an outdated or worn out deck that you need to have replaced? Are you guys able to remove a deck? Are you able to like keep the frame and install new materials? How does that situation work? So yeah, we can do that. Typically what we would do is we would remove the flooring, remove the railing, assuming that's what you want done. And then we would do a thorough inspection of the frame to make sure that it's okay. We don't want to put all this nice 25, 30, 40-year material on a frame that only has 5 years left. So we do a complete inspection of the frame, and then we can actually just reskin it, and it'll look like a brand new deck when we're done. Yeah, you mentioned the inspection, and obviously safety concerns when you're talking about old decks. It's a very important matter and something you really want to address if you're considering having updates made to your deck. It's time for us to step away for another short break here and chat with the experts, but we've stacked the deck on today's show. When we come back, we're going to have some quick tips related to your deck and your outdoor living space, and we'll also take a look at your listener questions and get you some answers from our expert, Tom Booker of the Deck Store here in Indianapolis. Stay right here. You're listening to Chat with the Experts, brought to you by Angie's List.
Do you love a good bargain? Angie'sList.com showcases popular deals from highly rated local companies so you can save time and money on the home and health services you need most. Remodeling your kitchen? Painting your house? Cleaning your carpet? We've got a deal for that. Angie's List members even have access to exclusive discounts, up to 80%. Don't waste another day or another dollar. Start shopping now at Angie'sList.com.